Good morning, everybody. Today, you're going to be doing a little bit of a review on fractions, and also I'm going to introduce just a little bit of a new concept to you that we will be moving towards in Unit 13, where we're going to be talking about equivalent fractions, fractions that are equal to each other, and then also comparing fractions to each other. So there's definitely a little trickiness to some of these new concepts. So we'll review today, and then I'll show you a little bit of a new concept just for a few problems, and then we'll begin Unit 13 next week. Okay, so here, what you're going to do is you're going to drag the number of shapes needed to represent 1/3. So since we have 3 equal parts, we are going to represent 1/3 by dragging one of these shapes so that it fits into the portion. All right, so that is how we will represent 1/3. So if you look here, now for this shape, you have to drag the number represented in the numerator. That's the number of shapes you are going to drag, and then 9 is the total. So when you drag these shapes, you have to drag it to the one where it belongs. Okay, so that one goes there, and this one's going to go here, and just do your best to drag it where it belongs. Okay, and remember, we're dragging 5 of those 9. Okay, so hopefully this is just a fun way for you to review fractions. So we represented 5 out of the 9. I'm going to put these back. Okay, and you'll continue to do that here with 4/5. You're dragging 4 of the 5, and 3/4, and 2/6, 2 out of 6, and 6/8. Now for here, you need to drag the shape that represents the fraction given. So one of these circles represents 1/6, one of them represents 2/3, 1/2, and 2/5. And the same thing for this page. You're dragging the circle to where it belongs to match the fraction given. Okay, now here you're going to complete the puzzle by dragging each representation of the fraction given. So in this first one, you're given 4/5. So there's 2 other ways to write or show 4/5 over here to the right. Now, for this one, you need to decide what the fraction is. The numerator is going to be the number of blue parts, and the denominator is going to be the number of total parts. Here, we're looking for 3/4, 2 different ways to represent it, and the puzzle pieces have to match and fit. And this one, you can see 4 orange, and then you decide what the denominator will be, 4 out of how many. Okay, moving on here, we're seeing a review of number lines, fractions on a number line for these next 2 slides. Remember, to decide the denominator, you count the total number of parts, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one's represented into fifths. And to find the numerator, you count how far along it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one would be 4/5. Okay. Same thing on this slide. Okay, we're looking for 3/8, 2/3, and 1/2. Now, these last 3 slides are the new concept that I was talking about. Okay, shading equivalent fractions. So to find fractions that are equal to each other, there's a few things we can do. We can use picture representations. We can also look at the digits in the fraction and see how are they related to each other. Okay, for example, here I have the digit 2. Here I have the digit 4. Okay, since 2 times 2 is 4, and 3 times 2 is 6, since I multiplied 2 times 2 and 3 times 2, since I did times 2 to both digits, that means that this fraction is equal. Another example, I could times it by 3. If I did 2 times 3, I have 6, and 3 times 3 is 9, so 6/9 would also be equivalent. Okay, but when you complete this shading part for sixths, please fill in the same portion that you shaded in here. So you shouldn't be shading in here. Okay, so if you look, I'm going to do 1 and 2. Okay, so now you can see that the 2/6 is equal to the 1/3. Okay, and then I would finish off the 3rd and 4th sixths. So now you see 1, 2, 3, 4 sixths is this, it's covering the same portion as the 2/3. Okay, the same will be done here. Now, okay, again, we see 6/8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6/8. So if I drag and cover the same portion, okay, how many pieces did I drag? 1, 2, 3, out of 4. Okay, so 3 out of 4, and if I look at these digits, okay, since I cut 6 in half, or divided 6 by 2, I get 3, and 8 divided by 2 is 4. Since I do the same thing to each digit, 6 and 8, divide by 2, get 3 and 4, that means that these two fractions are equal. This is just an introduction. We will get much deeper into this, and I will explain things much more. This is just a preview to sort of get your mind used to the concept. Finally, okay, if you look here, 6/12. Now, I have mentioned that whenever you're dealing with a double, like 6 times 6, 6 times 2, or 6 plus 6 is 12, or 6 is half of 12, okay, it's equal to 1/2. And if you look here, you can see that half of this shape is shaded here, okay? So it's 1/2. And now if we continue with that same idea that I've been saying, 6 divided by 6 is 1, and 12 divided by 6 is 2. So that's why it's equal to 1/2. Okay, so division is a part of fractions, and multiplication is a part of fractions. That is why we spent so long on multiplication, and we waited so long for fractions. All right, that's it for today. So please work your way through this. Do your best when you're dragging to get it to fit into the spot. You see if there's a little white space there, that's okay. Okay, and let me just put all these back. Okay, and you will be ready to work today. All right, so good luck and have a great day.